What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. We are less than 2 weeks out from the Burning Crusade Classic Anniversary pre-patch launch. This means that we're less than a month away from the Burning Crusade launching for the third time in Classic WoW's history. So we are going to be going over a list that a member of my community has put together and written for Wowhead. These are going to be the consumables that are still useful in the Burning Crusade from vanilla WoW, meaning you have access to these consumables right now. And then after that, we're going to go over the consumables available in the Burning Crusade. These things are going to be mashed together. You're going to be using a lot of consumables if you're trying to parse and pump and do well in the Burning Crusade. So I don't want to waste anyone's time. Without further ado, let's jump into the classic consumables that are still useful in the Burning Crusade. So starting off, here is the article written by my buddy Slesh the Rogue. He's a member of my community. He is a writer for Wowhead. He is absolutely awesome. So first up on the list, we have obviously our free action potion. This is going to be something that everyone is going to want to have stacks of going into the Burning Crusade. Still very useful moving into this next expansion, right? Flag carrying and Warsong Gulch he lists here. The Hydro Trash Waves. Honestly, free action potions are always going to come in handy. World PvP, if you're on Night Slayer, like, you just want to have stacks of these in your bags at all times. Next up, we have the Elixir of Demon Slaying, which is an absolute must-have for all melee DPS in the Burning Crusade Classic Anniversary. This consumable can be used during the following boss encounters. We have Terrestrian Illhoof and Prince Malakazar in Karazhan. It's not used in Gruuls. You're going to use it on Magtheridon in Magtheridon's lair. It's not used in Serpent Shrine Cavern or Tempest Keep or Zulaman, but in Hyjal, we have Antherion, Khazragal, Asgalor, and Archimon that you're going to use it on. And in Black Temple, again, Supremus, Mother Shiraz, and Illidan, of course. And then in Sunwell, we have Brutalis, Grand Warlock, and Sacrolash, Muru, when he's going to morph into Entropius and kill Jaden. So you're going to be using Elixir of Demon Slaying quite a bit moving into the Burning Crusade, so you're going to want to stack these up as well. We have Gift of Arthas, which takes up a Guardian Elixir slot and is excellent for tanks to use. It can inflict the target with a disease that increases all damage taken by 8 for 3 minutes. We have Swiftness of Zanza. Everyone knows and loves that, right? Increases your run speed by 20% for 2 hours. This is going to be huge. You're going to want to have this popped for those speed runs and things where you're trying to move really, really fast. So in the Burning Crusade, again, this is a good one that he mentions here. The Elixir of Major Agility has been introduced in the Burning Crusade, which provides similar stats to Elixir of the Mongoose, believe it or not, but Elixir of the Mongoose actually provides slightly more crit rating for classes like Warrior, Rogue, and Hunter, which is really awesome to know. To be completely honest, I didn't even know this until reading his article, so kudos to you, Mr. Slesh. This is amazing. Because the Elixir of Major Agility gives you 35 agi, 20 crit, whereas the Mongoose gives you 25 agility and 28 crit. So I guess that equates to slightly more crit on the Mongoose, so you're going to want to keep using Elixir of the Mongoose, right? And then we have Scroll of Strength 6, Agility 6, Protection 6. These are going to obviously be used for your warriors, your rogues, maybe your hunters, your tanks for the armor off of Protection 6. And then, of course, the infamous Dragon's Breath Chili. This is something that you're still going to want to be using, and it pairs really well with Smoked Dessert Dumplings. While this isn't the case in the Burning Crusade, one option could be used, Dragon Breath Chili, alongside of Oil of Immolation and then a TB consumable Flame Cap, which I was using this on the PTR in Karazhan. It makes a huge difference. I actually wasn't running the chili, but I was running Oil of Immolation and Flame Cap. So you can combine all three, I guess. That's absolutely awesome. It's some serious pumpage, especially on trash. And then from engineering, we have Masterwork Target Dummy, which is a 275 engineering item. The Arcane Bomb, which is going to be, I think this is the mana drain one. Yeah, drains 675 to 1125 mana from those in the blast radius and does 50% of the mana drained in damage to the target. Also silences targets in the blast for 5 seconds. So this is going to be awesome for our casters and our mana users out there. Goblin Sapper Charge, this is a really important one. It's very popular in Classic, but it can be used alongside the improved Burning Crusade version, which is the Super Sapper Charge. After popping your Super Sapper, the Goblin Sapper Charge only has a 1-minute cooldown. So on encounters that last longer than that, you can actually use both Sappers for that extra damage. And then here at the bottom, he has the extra consumables, right? Oil of Immolation, which is just awesome, especially for melees, obviously. And then the Snowballs. So if you combine your Snowballs with having judged a Seal of Wisdom on a boss, you can actually instant cast these snowballs to get mana back, right? So it's going to proc that Seal of Wisdom that's been judged on a boss by a paladin, and you could basically macro these snowballs into your abilities and be gaining mana back every single time, which is really awesome. It's a good combination. The Dark Rune is going to be still very much used. Brilliant Wizard Oil. So Superior Wizard Oil has been introduced in the Burning Crusade. Casters will actually prefer Brilliant Wizard Oil despite the lower spell damage due to the 14 crit rating, right? So the Brilliant Wizard Oil gives you 14 crit and 36 spell damage, as the Superior Wizard Oil gives you just 42 spell damage. So I'm assuming that this means that the Brilliant Wizard Oil is actually going to be better because it's slightly less spell damage, but you're getting that 14 crit rating as well. And then we have obviously Magic Dust, which can help with crowd control during raids or heroics, and it can be farmed from the Dust Devils in Westfall at a 13% drop rate. And then we have Stratholme Holy Water, which can be used in Karazhan, in Hyjal, Black Temple, and Sunwell. It has no use in Gruul's, Magtheridon's, SSC, TK, or ZA. So these are the classic consumables that are going to be used moving into the Burning Crusade. There's quite a few uses for a lot of these consumes, so if you're bored right now and have nothing to do, feel free to go and stack these, purchase them on the auction house, because I feel like the price is going to go up once people start to realize that you're still going to be able to use these. So now let's go over to the list and look at the TBC consumables, right? This is a mega list of all the consumes available to you in the Burning Crusade. And those are the ones from vanilla moving into TBC. Now let's look at what has been introduced in the Burning Crusade itself. So this is a great article that was written back in 2021, the first time we were heading into the Burning Crusade, and you're able to actually click on whatever class or spec you're playing, and it will tell you the consumes for that. So this is a massive list. We're going to go over a little bit of it, but I'm going to link it in the description, and then whatever you're planning on playing, if you're planning on playing, Shadow Priest, you're going to be able to just come here, click this, and it's going to give you all the consumables for your Shadow Priest, right? So we're just going to go over a few of the most notable mentions here, right? As the flasks are coming in TBC, the new flasks, we have a Flask of Fortification, which is obviously going to be our tank flask, Flask of Pure Death, which is going to be, Shadow, Fire, and Frost damage. We have our Relentless Assault Flask, which is pretty much going to be the go-to for our warriors and our rogues and our feral druids. Arcane, Holy, and Nature spell damage, which again, this is going to be maybe for our arcane mages, our paladins, if you're trying to do like a Shakadan type of deal. Flask of Mighty Restoration, 25 MP5. And then we have Flask of Chromatic Wonder, which gives you 35% plus to all resistances and plus 18 to all stats. Then the next thing I want to go over here, though, is going to be our battle elixirs. So we're going to be moving, obviously, to the Battle Elixir, Guardian Elixir thing. You're going to be able to pop one of these and a Guardian Elixir at the same time, right? So the Battle Elixirs in TBC are going to be Major Shadow Power, Fell Strength, Agility, Firepower, Frost Power, Healing Power, Mastery, Major Strength, Adept's Elixir, and Onslaught Elixir. These are your Battle Elixirs. And then, obviously, we have on this list as well everything we went over in the last one. These are from vanilla. If you move into the Guardian Elixirs, this is where you're going to have like your 16 MP5, your 550 armor from Major Defense, your 30 Resilience rating for PvP, you're in Battlegrounds, 30 Intel, 30 Spirit, 20 damage taken from physical and magical attacks. This is going to give you a resistance to that by 20. And then Elixir of Major Fortitude, which is 250 health and 10 health per 5. And then again, the Guardian Elixirs from Classic. Now, it's important to note that I think in TBC, they'll be on the tooltip whether something is a Battle Elixir or a Guardian Elixir. But again, you could refer back to this list. I'm going to link Slesh's article and this article in the description below. I was actually just reading through all this stuff the other day because I'm going to be playing Hunter and Warrior, and I wanted to make sure that I had all the consumes in my head. And to be honest, after reading Slesh's list, I was like, you know what? I'm missing like 3 on my list of consumes that I thought I was going to have to be running. So it's really important to kind of go over this stuff if you're trying to perform at like an average or above average level, and going for those parses week 1, week 2, you're going to want to know exactly every single consume you're supposed to be running. Because if you leave one out, that could be the difference between a, 99 or 100 parse and like a 93 or 94 parse, right? So you want to pay attention to this stuff. The potions introduced in the Burning Crusade, an absolute metric ton of potions being introduced. I'm not going to read all of these, but it's a lot. There are potions for literally everything in the Burning Crusade, as well as vanilla. There was a ton of potions as well, but you're going to want to take a look at this list. And again, at the top, whatever class you're playing, you're playing Feral Druid Tank, Feral Druid DPS, click that, and it's going to bring you to every consumable that you're going to want to be running for that class. And then coming down, obviously, we still have the Dark Runes, like I talked about before, Demonic Runes, Frozen Runes, and Red Cap Toadstools. these are not limited by the battle/guardian elixir system, nor do they share a cooldown with potions. So you could be using these things alongside potions, which is very important to remember. And then again, your scrolls right here. These are your scrolls that are level 5. So you're going to get your 20 agility, 20 intellect, 30 spirit, 20 stam, 20 strength, 300 armor. And then obviously you have the level 6 ones. And then the food buffs. Wow. Lots of food buffs introduced in the Burning Crusade. Pretty much a food buff for every single class or spec. No matter what you're doing, there is a food buff for you, right? So you're going to be able to use this. There's a ton of them. Again, not going to go over every single one. This video will be an hour long if I sat here and read everything. This is more of a reminder. I wanted to remind you guys what is available in the Burning Crusade, because I myself, Burning Crusade is my favorite expansion, and I forgot quite a bit of these things. And then if you have, regions left over for the old vanilla buffs, you could still use these. They're decent when compared to the TBC foods, but they're obviously not going to be as strong. There's no crossover here. So if you just have leftover mats and you want to use up your classic food buffs, you could do that as well. But the TBC food buffs are going to be infinitely better. And then for weapon enhancements, we have the superior wizard oil and superior mana oil for our mana users. And then we have the introduction of adamantite sharpening stones and adamantite weight stones for our melee users. And then that's pretty much it. We have a ton of other stuff, right? That you can go over here. There's literally an infinite number of consumes. All the engineering stuff. I'm not going to go through all of this because, again, this video will be very, very long. But pretty much everything that was available to you in vanilla is available to you in in most cases, a better version in the Burning Crusade. There are some, very, very unique cases where you're going to be using the vanilla consume over the Burning Crusade consume, like we read before in Rich's article with the mongoose and the agility elixir, right? And then leatherworking, obviously we have drums of battle and all that stuff. These are going to be used like crazy. There's a lot. There's quite a bit to be used in the Burning Crusade. So I highly suggest you guys go over this stuff and really make sure you have, open a notepad file and list out all the consumes you need for your class and your spec. This way you could be performing at the best possible level you can, if that's your deal. If you don't really give a shit about any of this stuff, that's fine too. Doesn't really matter. But this is for the people who do care and really want to min-max and fine-tune how their character performs early on in this expansion. So that's pretty much it. Big shout out to Slesh. He's a writer over at Wowhead, again, a member of my community. Dude does an awesome job. He's actually going to be starting to make content soon, I think, either on YouTube or Twitch or both. I'm not sure, but once he does, you guys will see me linking his channels and stuff down below. He's awesome. He really, really loves Vanilla WoW and TBC. He's a classic Andy at heart. And you could tell the passion is there with this one. Slesh, big shout out to you, brother. But anyways, guys, I hope this helped you. I hope I jogged your memory. I hope he jogged your memory a little bit and made you remember something that maybe you didn't think of, because when I read his article, there was a lot of things that I was forgetting as well, like the Dragon Breath Chili Oil of Immolation combo with the Flame Cap. I completely wasn't running chili when I was doing these raids on the PTR, so that's a big one that I completely forgot. So I hope you maybe learned one thing from this video, and if you did, that would be awesome. Hit the like button. It helps me out with the algorithm. Follow me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/hammerdance. I stream Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. We're actually giving away an Outland Epic Pack live on stream on January 13th. We're going to be pulling the winner live. That's the $80 version. It gives you the level boost, 30 days of game time. All you have to do to be entering into the giveaway is follow the channel right now. If you tier 1 or prime sub, that gets you 2 entries, and any gifted subs between now and January 13th get you more entries, right? So if you're, a follower, a tier 1 sub, and you gifted 5 subs, you now have 7 entries into the giveaway, which again, we're pulling the winner on January 13th. So follow me over on Twitch for your free entry there. And you could possibly win this $80 bundle, which is absolutely awesome. But anyways, guys, if you love Classic WoW just as much as me and my community, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you don't miss the next time I post a video. But anyways, guys, that's all I've got for you today. So thank you all so much for watching and listening in. I'll see you all in the next one.